20 states with the highest consumption in the U.S. Sultan Khalid's recent article explores which states are leading the nation in cannabis consumption, highlighting some surprising trends and key insights into this booming sector. Let's start with the numbers. The U.S. is currently the largest consumer of cannabis in the world, and it's no wonder why. In 2023, legal cannabis sales across the 38 states that allow for some form of regulated marijuana reached a staggering $28.8 billion. That's a 10.3% increase from the previous year, signaling strong growth even in the face of economic challenges. What's more, this burgeoning industry added nearly 23,000 new jobs last year alone. According to the 2024 Banks Job Report, there are now over 440,000 jobs nationwide, supported by the legal cannabis market, which marks a 5.4% increase in cannabis-related employment since 2023. The momentum for legalization continues to build. As of now, 24 states plus the District of Columbia have legalized recreational marijuana, but that number could soon rise. States like South Dakota, Florida, and Nebraska are expected to have marijuana legalization on their November ballots. And in a surprising political twist, even presidential candidate Donald Trump has expressed support for the ballot initiative in Florida that would legalize cannabis for adult use. Obviously, Jason brought me an old article because we know none of those things came to pass. But Nebraska got medical, so yay. So what's driving this rapid expansion? Beyond the push for legalization, cannabis is increasingly being embraced for its medical benefits. The rising acceptance of major growth of driver in the market as more Americans turn to cannabis for relief from conditions like anxiety, chronic pain, and insomnia. One of the fastest growing segments of this industry is cannabis-infused beverages. Jason Beck.
Yeah.
This niche market is bubbling up quickly, offering consumers a new way to enjoy benefits of cannabis. According to Research and Markets, the global market for cannabis-infused drinks was valued at $658 million in 2023 and grew to $727 million in 2024, and is projected to surge at a compound annual growth rate of nearly 11%, reaching over $1.35 billion by 2030. It's clear that consumers are thirsty for innovation in how they consume cannabis, with beverages providing a more socially acceptable and discreet option compared to smoking. Sorry. Looking back at the history of the use of cannabis in America is nothing new. Early colonists grew hemp for textiles and rope, but by the 19th century, cannabis was widely used as patent medicine. It was even listed in the United States pharmacopoeia as early as 1850. However, political and racial factors led to the criminalization in cannabis in 1937 with the Marijuana Tax Act. Now, nearly a century later, the tide is turning and cannabis is making a comeback, not just as a recreational substance, but as a significant economic force. For a deeper dive into which states are leading the charge when it comes to cannabis consumption, you can check out the full list of the top 20 states on our website, but please don't miss articles about the 20 best weed strains as well. Okay, so they puffed themselves at the end. My bad, should have cut that one out. This is exciting news. I think that showing this year-over-year growth is a good thing. Pushing forward, we're going to need anecdotal evidence and empirically verifiable facts like these to push through some of these governments, like Kristi Noem, who, praise God, I think just got a position somewhere else. So maybe South Dakota does have a chance at cannabis. But I think it's interesting. I'll throw it back to you guys, and I really, really want to know what Jason thinks about this growth in the beverage sector.
Like I said, all this growth in the beverage sector is all coming because the beverage industry and lobby is allowing for all these beverages to be sold in normal, traditional retail stores.
Stop the cap, Jason. It's because you're single-handedly propping up the demand for it.
I mean, fair enough. But, I am the lobby. Fair enough, Sohum. Fair enough. But shout out to Vermont in this, the #1 state for consumption per capita, you guys. Man.
Which is crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy. Yeah,
it's not that surprising.
It's Vermont, the Green Mountain State.
Traditionally been the cannabis-friendly state in the Northeast, and with their lack of sun, and you got to be indoors for so long of the year, it perfectly makes sense.
Isn't Fish from Vermont too?
Yep.
Yes, they
got
are.
a long-standing hippie culture. A lot of free thinkers.
Yep.
With no shoes.
Well, I mean, fair. When you got such nice lawns, you don't really need to use shoes.
That's fair, Jason.
But let's be real though. Trey Anastasio's dad is a hedge fund guy.
Literally, it's a bunch of All right. We call them trustafarians is what we refer to them.
Well, I went to school in Boulder for 3 years. There was a lot of trustafarians.
Yeah.
We had a bunch at Yale too. They're everywhere.
I bet.
They're everywhere. Jason, why don't you rush that candy down with a little cannabis seltzer?
Well, no, I have some water over here. I have some water. Yeah, I don't need any cannabis seltzer, J. Beth. I'm good with all that. I'm good with all that. But yeah, again, of course, they're always getting every opportunity they can to prop up this beverage market, trying to hype the train, this whole beverage market up into existence. And like I said, sales are up because you can walk into like Beverages and More and places like that, and all of a sudden just find cannabis beverages and purchase them. And that's the only reason that they're having such success.
You can get THC beverages at bars here in Austin.
That's what I'm saying.
It's pretty wild.
That's my exact point. That's my exact point of why these beverages are doing good. That's the only reason that they're doing good, because if they were left to only being sold out of dispensaries, they would be dropping.
Do those numbers in this article account for those, or is this because it sounded like it was using basically adult use system numbers as reported to the state, not overall Delta 9, THCA, whatever, Disty juice?
I don't think so. I think they're going off of basic overall sales. So
that would make sense for sure.
Yeah, that's why. Otherwise, they wouldn't have evidence to say, "Oh, our beverage market is doing so good." They'd have nothing to point to at that. Oh no, Omar, do you like cannabis beverages?
Not really. It's not my favorite. You know, I could see like when people are sitting around drinking, it would be a way to participate in the social imbibing, but it's not my preferred method of ingestion. What about you, Dale?
Oh, can't stand it.
See?
Okay, well, listen. All right. I'm going to be the advocate here. I hated them. Right? And then I was going through a little patch where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a little tolerance break from alcohol. Not necessarily a tolerance break, just a little detox, little system reset, right? And sure as shit, every time I try to stop tobacco or alcohol, something is like, all right, bitch, let's try you, and stresses me the actual hell out and becomes like this driving force of stress. It's usually my kid's dad or business. But I was really gung-ho about I'm going to go this couple weeks, no alcohol, blah, 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 blah. So Jason Beck, fortunately, we were roommates for a second as we were both in transition moving to Orange County. And he had a fridge full of cannabis beverages, and some of them are actually really delicious. And honestly, it was kind of nice to, like, instead of having my glass of wine or scotch in the hot tub, I still had a cocktail. Most of them still tasted pretty good. And I was still able to get a little bit of sleep, because I'm not a good sleeper. I'm one of those anxiety people whose mind will not quit. So it was nice. And I really did find a soft spot for those. I would shit on them up until that point, but they definitely brought me some relief, and I could see where they would be nice for some things.
Look at that. She found a soft spot.
I know that's a marketing tool, though, for people to go out and buy them. Because when it comes down to it, your taste buds tell you whether you like the stuff or not. Okay?
I agree with that.
And if the answer is, I can't fucking stand the stuff, I don't care how much your messaging is, I'm not going to use it. Okay? And that's been I'm an old hippie who like to roll joints, kick all the seeds and stems out. So that's where I start from. That's my perspective. Also, my dad worked for Coke, and I tried so many new products. I am not have any appetite for new beverages to come out.
I will say this, Dale. There is a few of them that I've tried that actually do taste really good. There's a root beer one that I think tastes amazing, like root beer, like old school, like traditional, like the candy root beer. You know, like the penny candy root beer tastes just like that, super super rich. And then my buddies that started TH Cheer. Which is a cannabis ale, is probably actually the best cannabis beer that I've ever tasted. And they're actually going into the hemp space market because there's not enough revenue for them to be able to get from the retail market in cannabis stores.
That makes sense to me. I mean, honestly, I believe that everybody should take CBD daily, like kind of as a multivitamin almost type methodology, right? Just because it, supports homeostasis within your internal system. So I think I could see it maybe having more of a case for a CBD hemp and less intoxicating, right? So it's just a different way to take your vitamins.
Fair enough.
The only cannabis drink I believe in is the juice of fresh cannabis leaves. Apparently, it works wonders. If that were widely available, I would be drinking it every single day.
You know what? I had a lot of patients that used to do that and treat themselves for different ailments with that, Omar. And you know what they used to do? The best way to preserve it, because the leaves go bad fast, is they would juice all the leaves and they would get put it in ice cube trays, and then they would have the frozen cannabis cubes basically, and then they could take those throughout the week, months, and whatnot when to have an ample supply.
Right. And right now, the leaves are considered industrial waste byproduct.
Yep.
It's not really being used.
Yep.
But I think that's something that could really, be used and useful for patients. So that's a cannabis drink I can get behind. No problem. What about you, Dale?
You gonna try some ice cubes, Dale?
I may be outside the norm here because I'm a sugar addict. I try not to take sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But if I put something in my mouth and it tastes like shit, I'm not going to swallow it. So I agree with you that there's nutritional value to the fresh squeeze, but to me, it tastes like shit. I'd rather have the nutrients from that put into a pill I can swallow. And this may just be me, but people that are my age, and 65 to whatever, we're older than dirt. We have a history of what we've done with cannabis, and some of these new techniques. Oh, go try it. Okay, I tried it. It tastes like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some other alternatives. And I'm just not a big fan of swallowing stuff unless I know exactly what's in it. It doesn't have a lot of extra sugar, artificial ingredients in it. I just don't want to do that. And the easiest way for me is to smoke a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And get what I need. That way I can titrate. And when my brain says you've had enough, I stop and walk away. When you slug something or take it into you internally, you can't reverse it. You don't get to titrate anymore. It's going to do what it's going to do. And if you're comfortable with that, that's great. But a lot of the people I work with, they're afraid of taking something, and then afterwards, there's no more control of it. You can't take a little hit and go, how'd this do for me? And these are discussions Molly and I had with people for decades. Hey, slow and low. Start low. Don't, I didn't feel anything in 20 minutes. Let's take some more. The next thing you know, you're fucking passed out. I like more of the understanding what administration techniques, what it does, understand it, and make products that if I like something sweet, hey, have a sweet product. If I don't, what can we do as an alternative? I just haven't found it yet. But this is me. I'm a sugar addict, and I'm trying to stay away from it. I like the sweet taste, but I don't like losing control. Oh, that, they need to market more to old farts like me who have money in our pocket and are used to smoking a joint and don't want to take Motrin and Tylenol anymore and all this other stuff. Let's find a marketing technique that old folks like me like, okay, and let's open that market. Because right now they're marketing to young folks like you guys on here that like high potency shit. I can't do it. It makes me pass out.
I'm with you on that, Dale.
There's a whole wide open market out there.
Yeah, I'm with you on Dale. That high potency shit makes me pass out too. So, any final thoughts on this?
Too much. I mean, I agree with what Omar said. I've never personally juiced cannabis myself, but I've heard really good things from people I know that are nurses and physicians that are familiar with cannabis. So I would love to try it sometime. As far as beverages, I see them in bars here all the time. As somebody that loves sports, that loves to go down to the pub or the saloon and watch a soccer match or a football game, I couldn't do it because it takes too long. The onset, sometimes it hits me really fast. It's less predictable, and I can't sit there and drink 3 or 4 or 5 of those while I'm sitting there for 2 hours and watching a match. It's just not sustainable. So for me, I don't see it as a legitimate replacement, but I am happy to see it available so readily in so many bars here in Texas.
Well, that's why they say different strokes for different folks, right? So
that's right. I'll take my Coors Banquet all day.
Oh man, you drink Coors?
That's right. I'm a Colorado boy.
We gotta work on your palate, bro. We gotta work on your palate, bro.
Banquet beer.
Oh
Fat
man.
Tire is Colorado, not Coors.
Fat Tire is terrible. Fat Tire is the worst. Fat Tire is the worst beer made by New Belgium Brewery.
Downtown Golden, and I almost got fucking hit by the train because they don't have arms that go down on the train tracks that take everything through the middle of the plant. So I have Thanks
Jenny
for bringing
Beth,
that beautiful memory back.
She's scarred.
You should look both ways before crossing.
That's right. You should.
You know what? And y'all should look both ways before crossing me.
Oh,
Not
God.
you, Sohum.
Here
We're
we
good.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Well, you guys. And on that, thank you all.